high school teacher until I began to remember what had happened. And I too, like many other people, are now on disability and have had to give up that career. I was raised in the small town of Fort Erie, Ontario, and my family was involved in the medical community and the Masonic community and in the military, and the same things have happened to me that I'm sure that you've heard have happened to many other people. I barely survive the amount of pain from headaches in my temples, and I would like an explanation of why this happened, and I want the government to stop what's happening, because it's still happening, and to recognize the terrible damage that's been done to us, and that you have changed our lives in so many terrible ways, and I want it to end, and I want an explanation.
You've been keeping track of what the CIA and the Defense Department have been doing for a long time as far as using us as guinea pigs for mind control and other types of horrible things they have in mind for us and the rest of the people in the world. What are some of them?
Well, it started out basically with the CIA doing experimentations on their own men to discover if they could get rid of agents who were going to quit the department and still had classified information. So they utilized different types of drugs and pain and hypnosis and electric shock to try and get the guys to forget. Then they also did experimentations to using different chemicals to see if you can induce a person to commit a crime or induce him to do that or to do this. Of course, the CIA claimed that it didn't carry it through. The documentation we got was actually that they did that. Then we came across the overall project called MK Ultra. Its earlier code name was Artichoke, and that included 149 sub-projects.
149.
Yeah. And those sub-projects range from what I just described to open-air testing in the United States, experimentation on prisoners, experimentation on soldiers, experimentation on college students.
Would these people know they were being experimented on and gave their approval?
No, except for the quote-unquote voluntary Army soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
And the way the voluntary Army program worked is it started in 1959, and the guys were just told that they would be doing experimentation on new weapons, right? And then they get to Fort Detrick, Maryland, where the experimentation was done, and find out that they were going to be doing it on drugs and chemicals. But they were never told what they would be experimented on. You know, they just knew that they went crazy for a couple of days or so forth and so on, and then years later have similar things to the guys who have had Agent Orange, because there's one chemical that was used called BZ, and it's 100 times stronger than LSD. It's a very gross drug that causes a person to totally go out of his head for at least 12 hours, sometimes up to 2 to 3 weeks, where he doesn't even know where he is or who he is.
Okay, so this is my first video for YouTube, and I really want to talk about mental illness, and specifically schizophrenia, and what it means to me and what I think it's all about in kind of a metaphorical sense. I read this quote online quite a while ago that said that psychosis is intensified normality, and I tend to kind of agree with that. I think most people can relate to some of the experiences that people who are called psychotic or schizophrenic have. But to me, lately I've been thinking about things metaphorically, which is easier to do when I'm on all of my medication. When I'm not on my medication, I'm just very confused, and I just know that I'm confused, and that's about all I can say or do, is be confused. But I was thinking that what I would say metaphorically about schizophrenia is that it's kind of as if the mind is like 3D, like if everybody's mind is 3D. Everybody has their surface and their catacombs, you know, their cellars that reach deep back, and living in that cellar can make the surface very foggy, as if you're kind of living underground. And living in the shadows, I suppose, would be how people would say it. But it's just that everybody has their shadows, even if they are living in the light. It's just a matter of where you dwell and where you choose to dwell. For me, being on medication has helped me realize that I can choose to go there, or I can use the medication as a crutch to hobble me out of the catacombs. If we're all capable of complete goodness or complete evil, then someone who's schizophrenic is like somebody who doesn't realize that they have a choice and is stuck in this guilty catacomb. They're like the devil stuck in the ice, and they can't get out because they keep flapping their wings, and the wind fuels the ice to stay how it is. I have to make a conscious choice every day to stay out of those dark cellars of my mind. And it's not that the demons